The following program may contain coarse language, politically incorrect terms, the truth, and nothing but the motherfucking truth. Viewer discretion is advised. Wait, was I supposed to bleep that out? F it.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
And what promise is that? Now, I'm just wondering, though. Oh, we're gonna set up a new world order. Shut the f*** up. I mean, what is the end goal of all this, huh? What are you guys trying to do? Set up a one world, neo-colonialist, corporatist, neo-feudalist dictatorship? And now the mainstream media, the mainstream slimeball, moronic, prostitute whore media has come out to admit that, oh, we're slaves to the big banks. You know what? Since you guys won't believe me, how about I just roll the footage? Okay? I'll just roll the footage for you people. Since most people are brain dead morons who have no idea what's going on in this entire system of things. Sorry, I just had to do that. You know, it's just out of frustration with dumbass morons who have no idea. You know what? Roll the footage, monkeys.
Mostly what they do is hold summits.
I think that right now the question is, do we all work for central bankers? That's what I want to address to our guest tonight. Is this global governance at last? Is it one world, the central bankers in charge? Jim Iorio, you say we've got some downside here, a correction in the markets. Fine. But aren't we all just living and dying for what the central banks do? Aren't we all just counting on the fact that there's a Bernanke put and that we won't go any lower than, say, 5% down from here?
Of course we are, because if we look at the economic data, there's nothing to get excited about in that. So yesterday we saw some reluctance for the Bernanke Fed to expand their balance sheet. To answer your question, we are absolutely slaves to central banks.
Do we work for the central bankers?
We know that.
Mr. LeCamp,
we do. This is free. We do. Look, markets are driven by policy now. They're not driven by market forces. They're driven by fiscal cliffs. They're driven by central bank proclamations. They're driven by false rumors coming out of the ECB.
Fiat currency that's continually watered down. They continue to water our currency down so the markets go up and we feel good about it.
Yeah, and listen to what the Fed did this weekend. I think they really screwed up here. They said that we're going to do this Operation Twist through the end of the year. In other words, they're going to create uncertainty about what happens after Operation Twist, right at the same time that the fiscal cliff kicks in. Do we really want all that uncertainty we know that there's going to be QE3? Isn't that why we know there ultimately will be QE3?
That's because remember that every central bank in the world, not just us, ultimately has to devalue their currency.
Oh my God, do we finally have a one world government where the central banks run everything? Oh my gosh, shut the up! Would you do the whole world a favor and would you please shut the up? I mean, my goodness, you sound like somebody that I don't know how to explain it. Somebody who has somebody's down their throat. Holy and I thought I was a conspiracy theorist for saying that the banks run everything. Oh, looks like I was right, but I guess, you know what? It's bad for me to be right about this. Hey, you're just a conspiracy theorist. Shut the up, you wise-ass moron. And it looks like I might be right about the big banks causing the collapse thanks to QE3. If you don't know what QE3 is, look it up. If anything, it'll cause inflation. If anything, it might cause hyperinflation. Look it up, you morons! Oh my goodness. Oh my god. This is sociopaths. Shut up. So how do you make a country's currency weak? Well, I'll explain everything here. You devalue the currency if you print more money into the fucking system, causing inflation. If you print off a load of money into the system, it'll cause hyperinflation, meaning your currency is as worthless as toilet paper. And now you wonder why the mainstream prostitute whore media doesn't want to talk about things like this. Okay? Because they're all bought and paid for by the very same banks who meet together every year and decide who's going to be leader of whatever country they are in. Oh my goodness, people don't know anything. Why can't people wake up? Is it that hard to actually realize what the is going on here? And then you got Obama, another sociopath, psychopath politician, saying, oh, you didn't build a business, this, that. Oh, shut up, you Sorry, people. I'm sorry for being frustrated to you people. I'm sorry for being frustrated, but this is the only way I can get through to you people. You know what, monkeys? Roll the footage showing Obama saying, oh, you didn't build that. Somebody else did it. Yeah. Idiot.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. You didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I worked harder than everybody else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hard-working people out there. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we had that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. The internet didn't get invented on its own.
You didn't build that. Somebody else built it for you. Okay then. This is where I kind of have to draw the line between Marxist ideology bullshit. Yes, a Marxist like Obama, aka the son of Frank Marshall Davis. Oh, you didn't build that, huh? Yeah, kind of like how I didn't build my freaking YouTube channel, okay? Yeah, I didn't build it. Somebody else did it for me. I didn't upload my videos. Somebody else did it for me. I didn't edit my videos. Somebody did it for me. In case you didn't notice, I was being sarcastic. This right here deserves a big face palm. I got a question. Where does the idea of starting a business come from? Where does the idea of starting a business come from? It comes from your goddamn mind. That's all it starts from. Anybody can start their own business today if they wanted to, okay? Today, if I wanted to, I could start a business on selling video games like, I don't know, Uncharted? If I wanted to, I could start a business selling phones like the iPhone. if I wanted to tomorrow. All it has to do is come from your thought. That's all it is. So technically, I did build the business. Okay? Fundamentally, I started that business. Something you don't completely understand. Something your mind, your Marxist mind cannot articulate. Because you've been taught by this from your father, a well-known communist spokesperson for the American Communist Party, Frank Marshall Davis. Holy and now you wonder why crazy people like Obama get in. Now you wonder why dumbass morons like Bush get in. My goodness. The people themselves are like a bunch of sheep. Okay? And like sheep, they're going to be sent to the slaughterhouse. And while they're at the slaughterhouse, they're going to get their wool taken away from them. And they're going to be slaughtered like the sheep they truly are. I don't want this to happen. I really don't. This analogy of me comparing the people themselves to sheep being sent to the slaughterhouse is in fact true. And I can use it in like for a real life example. Okay? You're sent to the slaughterhouse, you are stripped of your wool. As in, you are stripped of your wealth, which is what's happening right now with the economic system, which is why your money is being sent off to offshore banks. And then eventually, the entire system is going to collapse. And when that system collapses, you're going to be slaughtered like sheep. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Is there a way we can get out of this? Some people say, oh, vote in Romney. Romney won't even do anything. He's not paid for by the same special interest groups. Just like Obama. So what is the solution? Starting a civil war? No! If you start a civil war, martial law will be initiated. I got too many thoughts. I'm sorry, I got too many thoughts going at me all at the same time. It's kind of difficult to articulate all this into one thought process. But you get what I'm saying. Chaos will assume, the American people will get slaughtered, and just as the troops themselves, they get in, they're brought in, they kill the American people. Once that happens, then they'll bring in the mercenaries like Blackwater and foreign troops to take out the U.S. military. This is all planned. You can look this up for yourselves, people. It's not hard. My goodness. And sooner or later, the American people will be put in concentration camps just like the Jews were back in Nazi Germany, just like the Ukrainians were during the Soviet Union. For those who don't know history, are doomed to repeat it. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I got a piece of footage I'd like to show you. Somebody who infiltrated a terrorist group called the Weather Underground was being interviewed, and he stated that they wanted to kill over 25 million Americans in concentration camps. You know what? Roll the footage, monkeys.
I brought up the subject of what's going to happen after we take over the government. You know, we we become responsible then for administrating, 250 million people. And there was no answers. No one had given any thought to economics. How are you going to clothe and feed these people? The only thing that I could get was that they expected that the Cubans and the North Vietnamese and the Chinese and the Russians would all want to occupy different portions of the United States. They also believed that their immediate responsibility would be to protect against what they called the counter-revolution. And they felt that this counter-revolution could best be guarded against by creating and establishing re-education centers in the Southwest, where we would take all the people who needed to be re-educated into the new way of thinking and teach them how things were going to be. I ask, well, what is going to happen to those people that we can't re-educate, that are die-hard capitalists? And the reply was that they'd have to be eliminated. And when I pursued this further, they estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill. 25 million people. I want you to imagine sitting in a room with 25 people, most of which have graduate degrees from Columbia and other well-known educational centers, and hear them figuring out the logistics for the elimination of 25 million people. And they were dead serious.
And now you wonder why these sociopaths, psychopaths are running the country. I know, crazy, right? People like Bill Ayers, a guy who bombed New York in protest of the Vietnam War. He should have been arrested for that. It wasn't a false flag attack, it was more of a actual terrorist attack. Because there's a difference between an actual terrorist attack and a false flag attack. And of course, I'll get into it in another video. But you get the idea. Basically, the difference is one is funded by government and actually is done by government agencies. The other is done by sociopaths and psychopaths. What is the solution to all this? Because I know for a fact there is a way out. Let me just think of something for a minute. Solutions. Warn people about these sociopaths, psychopaths. Get the message out to everybody. Please, if you can. Help people wake up to reality and the world around them. Because the world itself is a dangerous place. It always has been, it always will be, but at least when you wake people up about this situation, they'll know what to do. If you talk to them about it, if you communicate with them about the situation, whether that be social media, whether that be talking to your neighbors, talking to your school chums, talking to your teachers, talking to your co-workers, anybody, please get this message out to everybody. Because if you don't, there might not be a future for everybody. It's not just happening in the US, it's happening around the globe. Pretty soon there won't be a European Union, it'll just be a collapsed zone. As with the Middle East. Because it'll all be just a big war zone. Technically it's already a war zone. I mean, it'll be just a big nuclear... It's like I said, it's hard to articulate all this, but once you realize the true nature of these people, you'll realize that there is a way to stop these. And once you wake people up, then we can start going after these people with lawsuits, with pretty much with lawsuits and whatnot. You get the idea. Okay, folks? This video isn't meant to scare people. This is a video meant to wake people up. This video is what I believe the most powerful video I can make. And I actually love what humanity has accomplished. We have accomplished great things in the past. We have created nuclear power, for f***'s sakes. I mean, we went to the freaking moon. We built an international space station. We built a telescope that can see far enough to discover distant galaxies we wouldn't have known. My question is, do you want to wake up? Do you want to get politically active? Do you want to see humanity survive to the next generation? It's all a matter of choice. People, you decide. This has been Truth of Nitrous signing off. I want you to remember something. For every action, there is always an equal and opposite reaction. The choice you make here and now will impact you and others for the rest of your life. You could change the world for the benefit of humanity. It's all a matter of choice. And this has been the Pipe Bomb.